What's going on YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to Texas Podcast. Thank you for all the day ones, all the new subscribers, all the likes, all the comments, all the feedback. Thank you so much. It's greatly appreciated. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday. Uh, I'm just out here at a kid's party. I really don't like going to these parties. Not my type of my thing. You know what I mean? But I come and I meet with the parents and hang out with them for a little bit and whatnot. You know what I mean? But this video is going to be something different, something a little bit more different than the Mark Moore topic. It's going to be a reaction, sort of, right? Some type of reaction video. My 2 cents on this topic and the topic is the Carmelo Anthony, right? I know it's kind of old, the Carmelo Anthony happened, and maybe might be wrong, could have probably happened about maybe time goes by quick, I might be thinking about a month or two, but it could have probably already be, going on 4 or 5 months or 6 months. Don't know really the date that it happened, but it's, going on for a minute already. And I've been seeing a lot of videos. This video is not gonna be if he's guilty or not. That's why we have a legal system to make those calls. My video is just to my 2 cents on, I guess, how you would say how his stay would be in the Texas prison, or what's going to happen to him when he does, or if he does go to Texas prison. Well, what is he expecting? What is he looking for? What's going to happen? I've been seeing a lot of videos, and from that thumbnail, you can see that dude. I really don't know too much about that dude jumpsuit or whatever his name, Pablo, other than a couple of videos that I've seen here and there. I think at the beginning of his videos, he says he did 10 years. I don't know where he did those 10 years at. Right? But every system is different, especially when if the whites are a majority in the prison. I can see the difference in the prison. I can see where they can have some kind of a pull or leverage, or have some kind of say. And I've seen his video on it, well, his take, coming from a white guy, right? His perspective on what's going to happen to Carmelo Anthony if he does, when he goes to prison. And to me, it was kind of comical. He wasn't lying about the things, right? But he was telling it from a white person's perspective, right? Of if Carmelo Anthony would be white, right? Which Carmelo Anthony is not white, he's black, right? All these things that he's talking about, that all this donation money was going to be helpful for him to be paying for protection and all this, and people are going to be up there waiting for him and this and that. And, that's not going to happen, man. That's not going to happen. Whatever he said, I didn't even watch the video, but I watched some of it and it was kind of comical, right? He says some truth to it, right? But his truth is what happened to a white inmate, especially down here in Texas. They're the minority in Texas prisons. The white guys, they're the minorities in prison in Texas. Carmelo Anthony, if he does, when he goes to prison, it's like a wild dog, right? Like an animal, right? Or a dog or a pit bull. Let's put a pit bull for example. When a pit bull gets out of control and bites a neighbor or bites a innocent bystander, that pit bull, during those days that they got that pit bull quarantine, those 10 days or 2 weeks, whatever it is, that they got that dog under evaluation after he bit somebody, right? They're going to see his character, right? They're going to see, is this dog, you know, trainable, or is this dog going to be a threat to everybody he meets? He already got the taste of human blood, right? He already got the taste of it, right? So that's why they put him in the quarantine, and they make these elevate they evaluate him, right, to see if that pit bull is going to be a threat to society or not. They're going to euthanize him, right? That's what happens when a pit bull uh does that. And everybody can say, "Oh man, the pit bull is a harmless dog." They are. I had plenty of pit bulls when I was younger, but to be honest, the pit bulls I would always have them were for intimidation purposes, right? They were used, uh, keep the smokers away, right? That's what I would use them for, right? They were vicious, right? Yeah, some were lovey dovey, but they were known to bite the hand that fed them, right? So you had to be on P's and Q's with those pit bulls. Even though you can be as loving and doving as them, they still have that instinct in them, for one reason or another. So Carmelo Anthony, being a human being, he already got the taste of that, right? He already got his hands wet, as you would say, right? And he did it the most up close and personal way that you could do it first time. You know what I mean? Uh, he didn't get off and pop a couple of few rounds into somebody's house, or he didn't do it from a distance, or even walk up to him and, when you pull out a stiletto or a shank or any kind of sharp object and insert it in somebody, man, and you feel the pressure of your hand going into that person, right? And it's like, whoa, you're gonna either not want to do it again, or you're gonna know how the feeling is already, right? You're already gonna know. And let's just and now you already got the taste of it, right? Carmelo Anthony, he already got the taste of it. He's already got the, his feet wet, right? He's already put in some work. And for the way he caught the body and for the reason it wasn't really life threatening, right? I mean, it was just really some high school bully, kid stuff that maybe if they would have just probably fought, they would have probably, shook hands and, hey, fuck it, they would have probably fought again. Who cares, right? But I don't think it was that drastic of ending somebody's life, right? I think the dude was just too scared of taking an ass whooping or something, right? Uh, or I don't know if he wanted to prove a point or whatnot, right? That's for the court system to decide. So the guy's already got the taste of it, right? And for the reason that he did it was real minute, right? It was, so now you're putting him in the environment that where his life is really going to be in danger if he doesn't play his cards right. And when I mean play his cards right, is like you can't go down there disrespecting anybody. And as far as the whites down there waiting for him, it's not gonna happen. They can be down there waiting, ain't nothing gonna happen to the dude. Ain't no whites gonna step up to the dude, man. Why? Because first of all, he's gonna be in the county, right? When he gets sentenced, he's gonna go to the county, and he's gonna go through the transition of going to the transfer facilities, right? The Middletons, the Gories, and based on how much time he gets and who's around him around that time, somebody just might pick him up and say, "Hey, come here, I'll lace you up." It don't have to be a gang. It can be the Muslims. It can be the Christians. It can be just some dude that says, "Hey, you're my younger brother, and I'm gonna look out for you. You're in here for a murder. I got you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna show you the ropes." So by the time this guy even gets to his units, he's gonna probably be already established, right, with somebody, right? And like I said, the whites here in Texas are the minority. They don't really they really don't have no say. They really don't have no say on what. So once he gets to his assigned unit, a lot of things can happen. He can join a gang. He can join the Muslims. He can join the Christianity movement. Uh, there's options. There's options, but those options are going to come with him having to put in work, right? What I mean putting in work is that anybody that you hang around with is going to expect you to carry your own weight. They're going to expect of you to maintain your order, right? You mean uh have your cell clean. There's going to be laws. There's going to be order. And if you can't follow these laws and these rules, you're going to get disciplined, right? I mean, you're going to get warnings and they're going to and whatnot until eventually you get kicked out. So I was watching the video. Watched a little bit of video of that. He was going to have to pay the money that they were receiving from the GoFundMe for protection. He speaks of what would happen to if Carmelo Anthony was a white boy. Now, if Carmelo Anthony was a white boy, what that guy speaks would be true. I'll give him that. I would give. I would totally agree with him. But since Carmelo Anthony is black, I would have to disagree on everything that guy says, right? And especially of why this guy was going to prison already for, right? He's going for catching a body. And how did he catch the body? Well, he caught it with the sharp instrument, right? And what's prison? What's prison's favorite and majority of it's a sharp object, right? That's the preference tool in any prison. A sharp or a blunt object that you can either smash it against somebody's head or poke them. Right? Those are the preference of certain instruments of the prisons. So he's already mastered it, right? First time he did it, he succeeded on what he wanted to do. So now he already knows what to do with it, right? So now going into a prison environment, all he got to do is find himself another sharp object, right? And keep it on him. He's already going to go up in there with at least a 40 or 50-year sentence, if not a life. Right? No white guy is going to want to go up there and try to make a name for himself off of this guy. Because like I said, once he hits to his prison unit, or established with somebody, it's just the way it is here in Texas. And especially it's going to be based off the racial. So him being black, he's either going to have to align himself with the streets, a street gang, or a prison gang, because there's no prison organizations in Texas prisons. They're all just basically street gangs. The Crips, the Bloods, GDs, Vice Lords. There's no Mandingo warriors no more, right? Those are far in between. So you don't have like how we Mexicans have real prison organizations. The the blacks don't have that. The whites do. The Mexicans do, but the whites don't. They're basically just street gangs, the Bloods and the Crips. So when he hits to his prison, he's either going to be aligned with the him not being. I don't see him being too much of a street dude. Him being young, he can always align himself with the Christianity movement or the Muslim movement, right? And they're going to accept the dude. They're going to embrace him, school him, and he's going to become one of their own. So now, whatever this guy says, oh, the white guys got to do something to them. The white guys ain't going to do nothing now because now it's going to become a racial riot. It's going to be completely, totally different. I mean, I get it. You know, he speaks truth. If on what Karmelo Anthony would be white and going, because then if Karmelo Anthony would be white coming to Texas prison, I guarantee you he would be picked on by the blacks, the Mexicans, and maybe even the whites. But him being black, it's not going to be anything happening to him, right? But at the same time, he's going to have to do his part, right? He's going to have to put in work. When somebody confronts him, he's going to be like, "Hey, I can stand on my 10 toes." You know what I mean? I can stand on my 10 toes. I'll get out there for mine. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. Win, lose, or draw. I'm going to get out there. And I'm speaking because I went to prison at 19, right? And I was a young kid. You know, I think I weighed maybe like 130, maybe 140, maybe even a lot less than that, you know, when I went to prison. But it's all in the way you carry yourself and how you handle yourself, right? I was blessed that I got schooled by an older gentleman that was doing life plus 50, right? He made it at the end of the day. He made it home, right? But I was blessed for somebody to take a liking to me and put me under the wing and guide me and show me the ropes. And like I said, all it takes is for somebody to show you the ropes, man, to show you the do's and don'ts of prison, right? Just to show you the rules and the laws of the land. And it's up to you to follow those rules if you want to survive. Because a lot of people get shown these rules and don't learn. So the same thing can happen to him, man. You know, an older person, somebody with more game and knowledge of the prison can take a liking to him and take him under the wing and guide him, right? And show him, hey, don't gamble, don't mess with them boys, don't do no dope, don't take nothing from nobody that you can't pay back. And don't open your mouth, you know? Just sit there and listen and, you know, if you're not gonna do it, don't talk about it. Basically, you know, stay out the way. And here in Texas, you can do that, man. I've seen people being what they call solos, right? Solanos. They tell them, hey, when there's a race riot, you know, you still got to get in. Everything else, go do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Don't come crying for help or whatnot. So for Karmelo Anthony to go to these Texas prisons and for him to be able to succeed and survive, He's gonna have to be learned and show the ropes, right? Because he's a kid, man. I don't think he's ever been to prison or juvenile or anything like that. But I don't think, from my experience going to Texas prison at a young age, that he's gonna go through anything different. He's not gonna get turned out. I mean, he's not a ain't no big white dudes over there gonna be waiting for him to turn him out because he did this to a white dude. Ain't no race riots gonna start. At the end of the day, man, when Carmelo Anthony gets to it, to the unit he gets to, as long as he don't have any kind of sexual deviancy crime or anything that people frown upon, he's just gonna be another number, man. Another TDCJ number. That's it. With the heavy sentence to do. People aren't going to be down there waiting for him. Oh, you're the one that took Austin Melcalf. Oh, you're the one that did the Melcalf boy. Ain't nobody, that ain't going to happen, man. If anything happens to him, it's going to be self-doing. He's going to get himself into the wrecks, right? By not either minding his business or being disrespectful or not holding his own. So as far as like the ABs or the Woods or AC or any kind of criminal white organization in prison, Texas is not waiting for him. They're not waiting for him to show up to make an example out of the guy. They don't care. They don't care. They're not waiting for him to go down there and oh, we're gonna get rich. We're gonna need some of that GoFundMe because you're gonna pay us for protection. Nah, it's gonna help him. Because when I was into when I went to prison, man, there's a lot of people that are broke, man. There's a lot of people that are struggling, and they're struggling for the bare necessities, right? The hygiene. They can't make hygiene. Fuck, they're not even worried about Zuzus and Wham Whams. They're just worried about getting some Irish Spring, some deodorant, some shampoo, some Suave. You know, the basics hygiene, man. The basic hygiene. So you got this kid coming around, he got money, he can hold his own, and hey, people are gonna want him around for what he can contribute, right? For what he can come to the cause. Hey, you know, hey, he makes store every day, man. He makes store every time. Fuck it. You know, there's gonna be dudes that are gonna be willing to fight his battles for him, believe it or not. Because they see him as an asset, right? What can we get from him? Hey, he's making store, his mom can do this, you know, Cash App here, Cash App that. So there's going to be people that are going to want to align themselves with them. Not for protection, right? It's more going to be beneficial. What can we get from him? Or what can he bring to the table? What can we use him for? All right. So now if it's going to be up to him on how he decides to do his time. You know, him being young, he can start off joining the gangs and then going off to the Christianity or the Muslim movement. Or he might just go to the Christianity and the Muslim movement from the beginning. But to me, it was kind of funny the way that dude, Jumpsuit Pablo, said it, right? That this guy's going to be a boy, paying protection and all this and that. I mean, he wasn't lying, but he was also telling it like if Karmelo was going to be a white boy. And Karmelo's a black dude. So he needs to understand that Texas prisons are different and they're real segregated, right? They're real segregated. And that being said, the whites are the minority. This is just my little take on the Carmelo Anthony. Uh, I got other couple of videos I was trying to do a reaction on, like the El Salvador president paying the gangs for his votes. Uh, Another leader of the Barrio Azteca got killed. I mean, there's a couple of reactions that I wanted to do, so I'll probably start doing them too here and there. But y'all have a good one, man, and thank you for rocking with me today.